So it looks like President Donald Trump and Ukraine President Volodymyr Zelenskyy, they're in talks for a deal that could allow access to Ukraine's natural deposits of these rare earth critical minerals that are used for a bunch of stuff, military systems, electronics. Why is that important for the United States?
Well, it's becoming increasingly clear, and even if people aren't saying it out loud, that we're entering this new period in geopolitics where our trade and our supply chains are going to be increasingly bifurcated, split apart between a democratic world and an authoritarian one, right? That's the subtext for every conversation you will hear about critical minerals, is how do we get some of these important materials, and how do we prevent them from getting what it is that we want. That there's a limited amount of lithium in the world. Well, we need lithium to build batteries. Batteries obviously are going to be absolutely important in the next 20, 30, 40, 50 years. How do we get our supply of lithium and deny our adversaries their supply of lithium? For example, there's lithium in Ukraine, and that's why they're having conversations about how is it that we as the United States secure a steady flow of lithium and prevent our adversaries from getting the same.
We see the United States really wants to strike a deal for these critical minerals. Is that an opportunity for Ukraine to maybe leverage its position and get maybe something that it wants?
It's clear that Donald Trump wants to be able to look at this deal with Ukraine and say the United States got something substantial out of our commitment to Ukraine, right? That the Biden administration had operated based on values, that we need to protect Ukraine because it's the right thing to do as a fellow democracy to protect them against an authoritarian dictator, and that it makes the world safer as a result when we follow our values. But the Donald Trump's administration is based on transaction and extraction. So being able to pull something out and get something in return for what it is that the United States does. That's really the way that Trump views the world, and that's the way he's viewing this critical minerals deal and the whole set of negotiations between Ukraine and Russia to hopefully end the war.
When we look at these critical minerals, and a lot are used for these very advanced weapon systems, for a country like Taiwan that has placed dozens of orders for U.S. weapons, and other countries around the world that are also looking to build up their arms, how is that going to affect that arms race?
Well, the more you want something and the less available it is, it's going to drive the price up. And also, as we saw during the COVID pandemic, the more people want something and there's a sudden shock to the system, as I think the Ukraine war is, I think Trump's election to the presidency is, there's a shock to the system, and everyone suddenly is rethinking their defense posture, and as well as what kind of technology we're purchasing, how much we should purchase. For example, Europe is going to likely dramatically increase its spending on defense over the coming years. That's going to cause prices for weaponry, tanks, armored vehicles, drones. Those are all going to increase in price as people all try to scramble to get the same things. And so there is a real shock to the system right now, and we should all be prepared for that.